guys, so it's finally time. We're talking about the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. I'm super excited to dive into this series, partially due to the nostalgia because I did grow up with the prequels and I love seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen return to these roles after 17 years. But I am fascinated what this series will have to offer, focusing on Obi-Wan Kenobi as he's watching over Luke on Tatooine, while also trying to evade being caught by the Inquisitors as they're taking out the rest of the remaining Jedi. These first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan I think were absolutely incredible. It feels like the perfect continuation of the prequel trilogy after all these years. It's just a perfect bridge. Obviously in its story, but just in the tone of the show itself, it feels very reminiscent of the tone we had for Revenge of the Sith. All these years being a Star Wars fan, I've always wondered what the years were like where Obi-Wan was isolated on Tatooine, and we finally get to see that visualized on Disney Plus with this show. And I found it to be very emotional seeing Obi-Wan as this isolated, damaged, and broken man haunted after losing Anakin in the events of Order 66, while also trying to watch Luke Skywalker grow up from afar, much to the chagrin of Uncle Owen. As I said before, it's 17 years since Revenge of the Sith, and Ewan McGregor slips back into the role of Obi-Wan so effortlessly in this show. See so much of that pain in these first 2 episodes that Obi-Wan felt by losing Anakin, his brother, and he's kind of struggling with trying to be the old Obi-Wan when people try to call on him, as we see in the second episode, especially when he goes off to try and save a young Princess Leia. But even in the first episode, when this Jedi that's hiding in Tatooine goes up to him, he's kind of initially pretty hesitant on even trying to address the situation, because you can really tell that he feels defeated by everything that happened in Order 66. Speaking of Princess Leia, I did not expect to see Princess Leia in this show, really. I mean, of course we have the focus on Luke, since we have to go off-world to save her, but she's great. She's absolutely adorable. She kind of has that same fiery spirit that Carrie Fisher brought to the role all those years ago, and it was a delight, especially when she has those scenes together with Obi-Wan. Those are some of the best interactions in both episodes when they're finally together. They're being fun and witty with one another, actually quite comical. It's probably the few little moments in these episodes that have any sort of humor, even if they are supposed to be trying to hide from the Inquisitors. The most emotional moment, though, of both episodes for me, other than the final part of the last episode, which I'll get to, is when Obi-Wan is talking to Leia, and he brings up how much she reminds him of Padme. Just pulling on my heartstrings right there. Both that and the way that we open up the first episode, getting to see Order 66 once again, just emotional damage for prequel fans. For me personally, I think I prefer episode 2 more to episode 1, although episode 1 is a great reintroduction to this world and Obi-Wan and what they're doing in the show. Episode 2 is just a very fun adventure. It's just a bit more fun having Obi-Wan go off-world on a rescue mission to save Princess Leia because Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers stole her, and it's all part of Reva's plan, which Reva is a very interesting villain. I'll get to her when I talk about the Inquisitors and the antagonists as a whole. The planet that we go to with Obi-Wan is a very interesting planet. It has kind of like a seedy, underworldy kind of tone to it. We see a clone trooper actually as like a homeless person, which was kind of interesting to see Tamora Morrison once again portray a role in one of these shows. This is actually where we end up meeting Kumail Nanjiani's character. I'm kind of unsure how I feel about him, because I do of course like Kumail Nanjiani, but he didn't really offer too much to the role that really felt anything interesting, I guess you should say. It felt a lot like just Kumail Nanjiani just playing himself in the Star Wars universe. I mean, that's just how I felt about it. Just the role wasn't really all that captivating. 2 episodes in, and I think that the Inquisitors are very good antagonists. They pretty much set the tone for the show almost immediately, that it's going to be a bit darker than what we're used to in these Star Wars shows, because they are very terrifying characters. We see them actively doing very evil things, like Reva cuts off a girl's hand, and then we see the Jedi that was trying to get assistance from Obi-Wan hung up for everyone to see in the streets. Very horrifying imagery there. The look in live action for the Grand Inquisitor is going to take some getting used to, but just the character himself in the show, played by Rupert Friend, I think he does a pretty good job. I mean, it's kind of very much reminiscent of the Jason Isaac performance. That kind of makes you wonder why you wouldn't just get Jason Isaac to portray the role in live action. Maybe he wasn't available, but from what we get of him so far, he has a very menacing presence. Same goes for Reva, who kind of has a more active role in the series so far, because it seems like she has some sort of fixation on Kenobi, and that is kind of one of the mysteries I think we're going to see unravel over the course of this season. What is her connection to Kenobi? Is it something to do with the flashback at the very beginning of the episode to Order 66? Something along those lines. But either way, she is very active in this episode, trying to take out Kenobi every turn. A lot of the action is kind of centered around her trying to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the thing with the action in this episode, or I should say episodes. It isn't lightsaber focused, which could be disappointing to some people, that Obi-Wan isn't mowing people down with a lightsaber, but he is trying to be hidden. So at least in the context of the story, story, it makes sense why he's trying to be a little bit more stealthy, hand-to-hand combat. I guess shooting people isn't exactly stealthy, but he kind of had to do it in the moment. All that entire rooftop sequence at the end of episode 2, I thought that was probably one of the best parts of episode 2. But the big thing at the end of episode 2 has me absolutely psyched for next week's episode, when Reva reveals to Obi-Wan that Anakin is still alive. She surprisingly stabs the Grand Inquisitor. I'm pretty sure he's not dead. We do know later on he dies. And that Darth Vader has been looking for Obi-Wan, and then we get to see Darth Vader in the bacta tank real quick before the episode closes. We're getting closer and closer to seeing Darth Vader once again on screen, and I can't wait. I know there's supposed to be some sort of battle between the two at some point in this series, but that's going to be awesome if we do get to see it. But that's been the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. I thought it was a great introduction, a reintroduction back into Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. I'm very excited to watch this show each and every week with you guys, so make sure you share your thoughts down below. What did you think of Obi-Wan episodes 1 and 2? Did you like the series, not like the series so far? Are you looking forward to episode 3? Share your thoughts or theories you may have on where we're going to go with these next couple episodes, because we only have a couple episodes left now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for checking out the videos. I do appreciate that. Make sure to like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you're always up to date with my reviews, distractions, unboxings, and more. Next time, I'll see you guys later.